President Trump made a surprise appearance among reporters on the White House North Lawn today. During that, he spoke about Paul Manafort. Here's part of what he said.
Manafort has nothing to do with our campaign. But I feel I feel a little badly about it. They went back 12 years to get things that he did 12 years ago.
John Summers was communications director for Senator Harry Reid of Nevada, and he joins us tonight. John, thanks a lot for coming on.
You bet. Hi, Tucker.
So, Paul Manafort, whatever you think of his business dealings, is an elderly, a 69-year-old lobbyist who demonstrably poses no physical threat to public safety, and he's obviously not a flight risk. He doesn't have a passport. And yet he's in jail tonight being punished for a crime the government has not proved or even attempted to prove that he committed. There's been no trial. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, I mean, let's go back and talk about what actually got him here. He shouldn't be surprised by this. He made his bed. Now it's time for him to lie in it. The reality was he was actually warned back in December when he violated the judge's gag order by helping to ghostwrite an op-ed. And at that time, she said, do it again, and you could suffer some consequences. Well, he violated, the terms of his parole.
So you're comfortable with punishing people for writing op-eds?
So I'm telling you what the judge said, and the judge issued a gag.
I know what the judge said. I've been following. Hold on, I've been following this. I'm asking you, as a political figure, are you comfortable with that? Do you think we should punish people for writing unauthorized op-eds? The government says don't give your opinion. You do it anyway. Should you go and be punished for that?
If a judge tells you that there's a gag order on a case, yeah, you don't talk about the case, and you certainly don't go.
Do you think that the government should be able to? Okay, but did he do that? Has he been proved to have done that? Was there a trial that I missed? And
he's not been proved to do that. But tell me the thousands of kids who are being held in these detention centers down in the South, including Brownsville, Texas.
They're not American citizens.
They're being held in detention centers.
But slow down. Those are not Americans. That's a separate debate, which I'm happy to have with you, and I hope you'll come back and we can talk about it. But for the purposes of this discussion, we're talking about an American citizen who is being held behind bars, not because he's a flight risk or a threat to public safety, the two pretexts for holding someone without bail, but because he did something the government doesn't like that they haven't proved that he did. And I'm asking you, as a Democrat and a spokesman, are you comfortable with that? Do you want to live in a country where that happens?
The judge's concern was that he had been contacting witnesses using the phone and that there is no way to monitor him at his home, but take away phones from everybody who might potentially see him.
So you're comfortable with that? So if a judge says you've done something wrong, even though there's been no trial, he's had no opportunity to present countervailing evidence or have his lawyer speak for him, it's okay for the government to imprison someone. That's what you're saying.
Guess what? That happens in our country every single day. People are arrested.
I'm asking you whether you
people are arrested and they're held in jail before trials. I mean, you've heard Attorney General Sessions defend this entire process as it relates to illegal immigration. So now, all of a sudden, that it's a rich white guy. It's a big concern.
I wonder why you make it a racial issue. The obsession with race and the attacks on people on the basis of their race from the left, the casual racism of the left is nauseating. So let's not engage in it here. I'm just asking you a principal question, which is not race-related.
People, working Americans across this country, and particularly people of color, are not treated the same way. They don't get this.
Then I'm totally against that. I'm for treating all American citizens with a consistent standard. So clearly you're okay with the government saying, we don't like you, go to jail. This is someone who has not been convicted or even tried for this crime, and he's in jail for it as punishment. I don't want to live in that country. You do. Let's move to the next question, which is, the new standard is apparently that if you act on behalf of a foreign power without registering, that you should be charged with a felony. Are you comfortable with that?
That's not a new standard, and it's one that if you're a lobbyist, it's one that you should be familiar with.
No, you don't need to be a lobbyist. The law, the FARA law, Foreign Agents Registration Act, first passed in 1938, does not say you have to be a lobbyist. It says you have to act on behalf of a foreign power, pushing its agenda in order to influence our government. That is something that about half the population of Washington, D.C. does, including almost every single one of our most prominent political figures, and they are never charged for this. Would you be comfortable with applying this standard to them?
Well, take a look at the website. The rules are a little bit different than that. It's actually talking about...
I just read them about 6 minutes ago.
It is directly related to lobbying, and it is directly related to advancing...
But lobbying is a subjective term. Well, that happens every single day. Every day, politicians and spokesmen and lobbyists in D.C. push the agendas of foreign governments, and you know this to be true because you worked there. When you worked in Harry Reid's office, emissaries from other governments showed up and tried to influence him, and in some cases, he took their advice. He didn't register. Should he have to live up to the standard that Paul Manafort is being held to?
When they come in, when members of a foreign delegation come in to visit the senator, they're trying to lobby the senator. That's not the senator lobbying them.
Oh, no, it's not. It's the senator taking the will of a foreign government and applying it to the rest of our country. That happens every day. It's the same thing. And none of those people is sitting in jail right now.
Also happens
and Republicans
all the time
do it too. It's not a partisan thing.
Happens all the time when members of the congressional delegate or when members of Congress hold congressional delegation trips all across the world.
Yeah.
They're also greeted.
I'm aware.
Right. So it's
aware.
Standard.
And so maybe we should get real about this. Yeah. Standard protocol. It's cool when we do it. I get it. Okay. Just not when Trump's campaign manager does it. John, thank you. Great to see you.
You too.
What do we know about the prosecutor who petitioned for Manafort's imprisonment, who revoked his bail? For that, we are joined tonight by Trace Gallagher. Hey, Trace.
Hi, Tucker. He is known as Special Counsel Robert Mueller's legal pit bull, and this month Andrew Weissmann lived up to the name, filing an 18-page motion accusing Paul Manafort of witness tampering, which this morning landed Manafort in jail. Weissmann, a federal prosecutor and senior deputy under Mueller, is a registered Democrat who has contributed thousands to President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the DNC. When former DOJ official Sally Yates defied President Trump's travel ban, Weissmann emailed her saying, quoting, "I am so proud and in awe. Thank you so much. All my deepest respects." And according to the Wall Street Journal, Weissmann attended Hillary Clinton's election night party in 2016. Weissmann is also no stranger to being tough on white-collar criminals. He led the Enron task force in 2004 that sent a Merrill Lynch executive to a maximum security prison 700 miles away from his family. The exec spent a year behind bars until the Fifth Circuit vacated his conviction. And finally, we should note the judge presiding over the Manafort case, Amy Berman Jackson, dismissed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton last year. The suit alleged that Clinton's lack of email security led to the deaths of Americans in Benghazi. Tucker.
The Mueller guy went to Hillary's victory party. That just blows my mind. Thank you for that. Trace Gallagher. I appreciate that.